emergency management, our emergency service districts, our firefighters, our first responders, any and everybody. As you can see, we have city public service out here. We've got all hands on deck. Although there are some families, constituents that have been displaced, we're here to prepare and help them in their time of need, and I'm proud to be a part of this team. Commissioner?
Thank you. And as communications between the two counties, to me, was grateful. We've had teams from both sides collaborating together as if we were just one big team, and to me, that's what puts a lump in my throat to see that we can all pull together and join arms and fight it. As I said, it's a loss for a lot of people, and we're can't say how hurt we are for our community here.
I mean, there's going to be people though that are saying, "Hey, why wasn't this put out yesterday?" What kind of response do you guys have for that?
Yeah, I think I can speak to that. The issue with getting the fire stopped is obviously we were in a red flag warning, 45 to 55 mile an hour gusting winds. Relative humidity of 11%. That's the reason for the red flag that day. And in preparation of that, the Bexar County ESDs came together and stood up strike teams both on the east side of the county and the west side. And both of those teams wound up here on initial dispatch. So we didn't have to wait until the incident came about and then put people together and all of that. We were preemptively prepared to get out here, and unfortunately, with the conditions, obviously, a lot of people were affected by this, and we would like to have stopped it before that. But we did the very best that we could with the conditions we had to work with. No, that the investigation's ongoing, and the Bexar County Fire Marshal's office is handling that investigation, and we'll defer to them on that.
And I think there's been a flare-up, I believe, in this fire. We talked to a neighbor that said they called 911. Is there a reason for that flare-up?
Yeah, again, just trying to get a handle around this thing, and our mission today, this morning, was to get on the perimeter of this fire and work the perimeter and then work inward to getting those hot spots and stuff. So it's commonplace for that to kind of happen as we're going through this day, but we'll see throughout the day that those hot spots will be getting mopped up, and that's why you see this aircraft flying overhead right now, taking care of a lot of that stuff.
I want to add that a couple commissioner courts ago, we passed a burn ban for Bexar County at the recommendation of our fire marshal, and for any constituents, it's really important because it's still dry. San Antonio, Bexar County, we don't get a lot of rain. So make sure you're cleaning out your areas. They were just talking about to make sure you don't have high shrubs and a lot of debris laying around, because it's really easy in these situations for the wind to pick up and structures to catch on fire. So make sure you're doing some spring cleaning and get everything mowed and get debris away from your homes.
Has there been an update on people injured or structures destroyed since 1 in the morning last night?
No, the update, that's the Bexar County OEM team and the Texas Division of Emergency Management are working on assessments right now. So we'll have information on that later on today.
Do you have specific information about the Adabear firefighter who was hospitalized?
I can speak on that. An Adabear firefighter was transported to the hospital yesterday due to smoke inhalation. That firefighter was since transferred from Jourdanton into San Antonio and is being treated at a hospital in San Antonio.
And her prognosis is?
Not real certain on her prognosis yet, haven't as of this morning.
That kind of speaks to the danger that a lot of these folks out here in the rural areas are volunteers. Yeah. What can you speak at all to the needs of your, especially volunteer departments and your volunteers? And this is putting a lot of stress on underfunded, undermanned departments. They need resources, right? They need donations. They need water. Talk to me about what your people need to help them get through this time.
Absolutely. All of the fire departments in Atascosa County rely on volunteers to some degree or the other. Most of the firefighters from Atascosa County out here yesterday were volunteer firefighters, and we had upwards of 40 firefighters from Atascosa County alone. So those folks are donating their time, donating a lot of times their own money to put gas or diesel in those fire trucks. So, you know, a lot of times people will come by, offer bottles of water, food, and those things. Donations are always appreciated at all the volunteer fire departments. Commissioner, I don't know
Could
if you
you
have
be even more proud of your people and the way they responded yesterday? I mean, you had everybody on the line, right? I mean, the people were helping. Talk to me about the response of your community.
Yeah, so there was a gentleman running around here on a little motorcycle yesterday, and he had a shovel in his hand. He was a resident. I don't know his name, but we're grateful for him. He could have been sitting on the sidelines and just watching, but this is his residence, his community, and he did what he felt he could. And that alone was just outstanding citizenship. And along with him, there was hundreds of those same, but that one gentleman, he really stood out for all of us. And I will go as far as saying we've had some deputies who are not firemen grabbing shovels and running into places where no man should have been going. And they were coming out coughing and grabbing their lungs and just really putting their lives on the line when it's not their job. And the residents right behind them. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better group of individuals just pulling in at the time of need.
And can you piggyback a little bit off of what Commissioner Clay Flores said, with the need, especially now, for everybody to go out and look around their yard.
That's right.
And do what they should do now, right?
Right. So it's springtime, and it's coming up on us, and the weather's going to be getting warmer. Little pieces of glass are going to start a fire, if nothing else. But with these high wind days, it's real crucial to paying attention to what you have around the surroundings of your home. And most people don't know it, but if you look in the tree, that's called a moss ball in these oak trees. And this is the blackjacks of South Texas. And the blackjacks are full of moss in those oak trees. So when the tree gets struck with fire, that ball breaks loose, and now it's a moving amber, and it lands in someone's yard who has a bunch of debris or overgrowth, or as they were saying earlier, in a gutter. And something that you may not think on every day, that, oh, my yard's clean, but check your the V's in your roof lines and the gutters. All of that stuff is very crucial to making sure that this is prohibited. And we have to help each other's neighbors. Hey, let's clean up, let's work out and do things and try to make this a better, safer place. These trees, it's dynamite is all it is. You get one started and they just go. They're already a dry land tree. So it doesn't take anything. And adding to the fire would be the debris that has been spoke of. And just trying to get a handle on that would really help the situation from the residents' end.
Do you know if there are any regulations or permits or anything required for that cleanup? Because we just heard from someone who said that he was cited for cleaning up his property because he was following the advice he heard on the news about doing that.
Well, that's where the population size between our two counties varies. I'm not going to speak a whole lot on it because our hands are tied in Atascosa County on the legislation end of it with how much we can enforce a resident to do their cleanup. I don't know the restrictions that the Bexar County has, but I know that they follow under the same guidelines as that's private property. And we are restricted to go in and tell them you have to do this or you can or cannot.
He was doing it and he got cited because he didn't have a permit to cut down.
Maybe it depends which county he's
It
in.
was Bexar County.
So in Bexar County, Precinct 1, as commissioner, we work closely with our constituents and with our county departments. And so if you have private property, you're the landowner, you're indeed responsible to make sure that you clean out that debris. And if you're an elderly or disabled and you're unable to do that, then please contact our office so we can make sure you have the resources you need.
But we do see folks that sometimes are trying to clean up some of that stuff, and they do that through burning, and oftentimes it winds up being unlawful burning because they're not just burning shrubs and debris, they're burning building materials and things like that that are not permitted to be burned in open burning, and those are the kinds of things that they can be fined for, as well as like the commissioner said a couple of weeks ago, we passed a burn ban. So if that was the way that they were cleaning up, that would have been a way that they would have gotten in trouble for that.
And so precinct 1, we had about 3 or 4 bulk pickups out in the rural county areas just in precinct 1 alone. So it's important for the constituents of precinct 1 to be mindful of that. They can contact my office. We put it on social media. We send out our newsletters. So when we have bulk pickups, that's the point of it, so that people can come and bring what they need to discard of that.
Isn't it also true that as people are cleaning up, even in these dry conditions, stuff like running over rocks with lawnmowers can cause sparks, welding can cause sparks,
Yes,
a lot of
sure.
the activities of daily living, right, that people
Yes.
don't think about.
Yeah, I talked about that yesterday morning. There's, people driving down the road pulling a trailer that has safety chains on it, and those safety chains are dragging the ground, and they create sparks. And they have in the past started fires on the side of the road, or somebody's pulling a trailer-mounted barbecue pit, and it's actually lit, and embers are coming out of that barbecue pit going down the road. All of those kinds of things are things that we need the residents to be mindful of, specifically during these red flag warning days and the bad weather conditions that we're having.
And can we know exactly how many firefighters are still out here, what fires they're on?
I would estimate that we have probably 50 firefighters on the fire today, between Atascosa and Bexar County. And just to go back to what the commissioner said a while ago, it was great to see everybody come together yesterday, and this fire being on a county line, and that can really add a layer of complexity to something. And in this situation, it just absolutely didn't. The teams came together, and we just worked together to get the fire contained.
At the height of the fire yesterday, there were about 100 boots on the ground, is what Chief Rodriguez reported.
Are they all fully contained, or is there just any hot spots they are looking up for in this area?
Yeah, so today we're working on hot spots. That's what the crews are out doing, and that's what the aircraft that you see flying overhead, they're working on clearing up those hot spots today.
And this is just for Duke or also Calaveras fire?
All the information that I have is related to the Duke fire.
Do y'all have an accurate count on structures if any of those have been damaged or impacted?
Not at this point. Those surveys are being done as we're speaking.
If we were in an elevator and you had one thing that you think people need to know, the most important thing to keep everybody safe in the coming hours and days, what's your most important thing that worries you the most?
I think people working on defensible space around their homes in the rural setting is the number one thing when it comes to these fires. You can look right over there at that house right behind us and see green short grass in their yard, and you see their house is still standing. That's what happens is this fire runs up to that green short grass and it stops. It doesn't have fuel. So whenever you have brush and debris and things like that up close to your home that allows that fire to continue right up to the home, that's what happens.
There's probably a lot of people who have never heard the term defensible space, but it's so important. Tell me what defensible space means to you.
Yeah, so defensible space is you basically take 100-foot perimeter around your home and you start layering in the protection, right? You start like out 100 feet out, you look at the tree canopies and stuff and you try to lower the tree canopies, and then as you come in you taper down to the ground to where when you get up to the house you have non-combustible stuff against the house. So if you have a flower bed around your house, a lot of people want to throw mulch in there, but we would advise you to put rock or granite or something that's non-combustible, so you have that perimeter all the way around your house that's non-combustible and keeps that fire from moving up on your home.
And when it comes to animals being evacuated, I spoke to a neighbor. I understand large animals like horses were evacuated, but small animals weren't. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the instance of yesterday, we were doing our best to get a handle on the fire and the residents, and folks were definitely bringing their pets along with them as they were evacuating, but we were in contact with the Bexar County Animal Control and trying to help in that way as well.
We have time for one last question, guys.
Where can people pick up their horses if they can?
I'm not aware of any horses that we coordinated the movement on.
I do want to say one last thing. For any constituents who have been affected, you can call my office or call Office of Emergency Management. We are working with the state and also our Economic Development Department to make sure that all constituents have the resources that they need.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Actually,
Thank you.
One of my lifelines
But
is
in the
going to be specifically about me.
rush of things, there might have been somebody who did have a
Brought us
person that
into
they were
water.
trying to
Awesome.
move it out on
Thank you.
in the same way.
Did y'all leave it up there at the
Okay.
No, it's still in our car.
So-
We arrived late.
So the fire department that responded originally was Attleboro.
Yeah, this
Right
was
there.
this was
So,
happened yesterday, and
and as far as
the
donations
fire
stuff, thank you for
came
asking
in,
that.
I think, around
We
12:30
everyone in Addison County relies on volunteers. All of us.
Yeah.
Even Pleasant, we have some paid firefighters. But, we have one volunteer left. We're looking to start that program again. It just takes time, right? So
well, I mean, we're
every
still,
department now is
yeah,
Commissioner
probably
Gillespie,
like
Commissioner, he's
2
Commissioner for
o'clock
Precinct
in the
1.
morning. We had our
with his
last
support, the
crews
support of
out
the
here.
court.
They are still kind of,
They, we do,
yeah,
we do
like
our
doing
best down there.
patrols,
Yeah,
but
you do what-
we
you make do
brought
with what you have.
fresh teams back in this morning, and they're back at it.
Mark Gillespie.
8 a.m.
How much money they are.
Yes,
No, that was
Goes